Hi, Andy, Joe, and Big Al. I'm John from Atlanta. I'm 62 years old, and I love listening to your broadcasts and podcasts. Thank you very much for educating so many folks. And my question today is regarding paying the taxes on Roth conversions. I am retired, and I intend to do annual Roth conversions to the top of the 24% bracket. And for me, that's going to be a couple 100,000 a year. And I hear different financial planners talking about the timing of paying the taxes, whether those need to be paid immediately, paid in the quarter in which you take the conversion, paid in the calendar year. And now lately, I've heard a few financial planners say it's okay to wait until April 15th of the following year to pay the taxes. So I'm just trying to figure out whether there would be a penalty if you don't pay the taxes in the calendar year that you do the conversion. Thanks.
Cool. Thanks, John. Appreciate the phone call or phone message.
Yeah, good question. And it relates to, we all know that we do in a Roth conversion. You're taking money out of an IRA, you're converting it to a Roth. You have to pay tax on what you convert. That's the bad news. The good news is it grows tax-free forever. So interest income, dividends, principal is tax-free forever. Growth is tax-free for you, your spouse, your future beneficiaries, kids, grandkids, whatever. So, but then there's the question of when do you pay the tax, right? And so there's two simple rules. I'll go over quickly, and then I'll get into it a little bit more. There's two ways to avoid penalty when you owe taxes. One is to have paid in 100% of last year's tax. So you look at your tax on last year, and have you paid in enough through withholding to cover that, or 110% if you're over 150,000. So that's one
150,000 of income or 150,000 of tax.
150,000 of income.
Got it.
Okay. And then, but the other way, which is probably more relevant for most people that are retired and doing Roth conversions, is you have to make estimated payments in the current year. And you have to make enough estimated payments to cover 90% of your tax by the time April 15th rolls around. So the standard rule is you pay those quarterly. You pay the first quarter in April 15th, then June 15th, then September 15th, then January 15th of the following year. You pay 1/4 of the tax each time. Now then there's a question, well, what if I do the Roth conversion in November, December? Yeah. How did I know what the tax was? And so here, the way that you do it, there's something called the annualization method, which basically says that you have to start paying the tax in the quarter where you have the income. Right. So maybe you made your normal estimated payments in the first quarter and second quarter and third quarter. In the fourth quarter, you did a Roth conversion, your income goes way up. Then you have to pay that extra tax, or at least 90% of it, by the fourth quarter estimate, which is January 15th. So for most people that are retired, you're already paying estimated payments, or if you haven't, you're going to have to when you have extra income like this. If you do your Roth conversion in January, February, March, then you just have to pay 1/4 of the tax, payment 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Sounds good. Great question, John. Get that quite a bit. No one likes to.
Yeah, and there's a lot of confusion in it because if you had enough withholding, like let's say you're working and you retired, right? So you had a whole bunch of withholding, or maybe you retired during the year, you had a whole bunch of withholding that covered last year's tax, and then you do a Roth conversion, right? At year end, you might not have to pay until April 15th, as long as you had 100% of last year's tax paid in. But when you're retired, that seems less likely.
Are you prepared for retirement? Schedule a free financial assessment with an experienced financial professional right online at purefinancial.com.